We want to go live now to 24-Hour News 8's Marley Ginter. She is along the Grand.
She's anchoring our live coverage from Grand Rapids tonight. Marley, what are you seeing out there?
Well, Sue and Brian, this gives you a good idea of just how high the river has come up. As you know, we're standing outside the Ford Presidential Museum. Normally, you can walk along this area that I'm standing right now. Not the case now. Now, we've been telling you about flooding concerns as those are expected to grow over the weekend. The city is preparing for the worst, so I am going to be speaking live with Grand Rapids Mayor George Hartwell in just a few minutes. But first, we want to take things over to 24-Hour News 8's Henry Erb, who's live along the river at another vulnerable point. Now, Henry, what are you seeing over there?
Well, downtown Grand Rapids is protected by concrete flood walls from the rising Grand River, but there are some gaps, and here is one right now. This little gully is filling up with water from the Grand River. It's between the Grand Valley's Everhart Center and the Grand Rapids Public Museum. And here is what they're doing today to protect the public museum from damage. Workers today hefted hundreds of sandbags into place, providing a 2-foot insurance policy to keep the river out of the public museum. I talked to the guy who was in charge of the operation for the museum.
Well, we talked to the city engineers yesterday and walked the site, assessed our risk at this point. With the help of the city engineers and the city staff, all of this city staff, we are starting to sandbag along this south end of our property just to guard against anything that may come up. River levels, crest levels have been adjusted, so I think, you know, we're playing it safe.
Yeah, at this point, so you're going to put sandbags all along here, it looks like out on the street as well?
We're going to put sandbags along this walk and use this as our base for our sandbag dike, and then along Front Street.
The mayor today said the city got 75,000 more sandbags, and the city is offering them to anybody who may be worried about water getting into their homes. Tomorrow morning at 8 o'clock, you can go to 201 Market Street and pick up those sandbags. You gotta fill them yourself. We are live downtown. Henry Erb, 24-Hour News 8.
All right, Henry, thank you. Other communities are providing sandbags. In Ottawa County, you can call your township or city office to get free sandbags. In Allegan County, you can get sandbags at your local fire department. And in Wyoming, they're available at the Public Works Department on Burlingame. Remember, these are just the bags. You would still need to buy sand and fill them. Now, back out here live, we heard earlier from Mayor George Hartwell just about what the city is doing to prepare. He's joining us now live here along the river. Thank you so much, Mayor, for joining us here tonight.
Thank you for having me, Marley.
Now, you know, one thing that we have seen is road closures are popping up just about everywhere. What could you say to make sure people are abiding by those?
Well, sure. I mean, we all think that ours is the one car that's going to be able to make it through that puddle, right? Just trust me, it won't. So don't drive into those flooded conditions, because the real risk is not that your car is going to be damaged, because it will be, but the real risk is that we may need to get emergency vehicles through there, and you're going to have a car that's stalled in the middle of the road.
Now, and from what I understand too, we have not set a declaration of emergency at this point, but what does it take to get to that point, to declare an emergency?
Well, that's a very good question, and as we stand here, I mean, these are the dramatic scenes, but the risk and the damage is not being done here. You can look across the river behind me and see the flood walls. We have plenty of room. In fact, even at the crest, even at the most aggressive crest that's projected, we'll still have 2.5 feet of freeboard. So the problem isn't going to be that the river overflows its banks and floods our neighborhood. The problem is the stormwater system that has received all this water and simply can't handle it all. So what we're telling, we've had some evacuations. We've sandbagged some areas. We are making sandbags and sand available to people tomorrow. Perhaps Henry just reported that. But to declare a state of emergency, you need to be able to know that you are stressed and your resources are stressed beyond their limit. We're not there. We're handling this emergency. It's being handled very well. everybody from the city attorney's office handling claims to our street and sanitation workers who are sandbagging.
Mayor George Hartwell, thank you so much. Appreciate that update. And we are out here along the Grand River, and of course we will be staying out here. There are sandbags here at the Presidential Museum too. You'll see those along the roadways out here if you need more sandbags as well. Back to you in studio.